if you're new here, I'm a teacher in Texas. Yeah, this video is going to be a little bit awkward because I am leaving teaching. I struggle with this decision over the summer and actually last year. I felt like last year was going to be my last year and I just wasn't sure where I was going to go. I had a lot of hope. I was like, you know what? I'll just start fresh this new year and everything will be fine. But I lost one of my really good friends who was on my team. She decided not to come back. And then at the beginning of this year, there were so many changes, it just made it hard for me to keep that same drive and motivation to continue to do my job. So I've decided to quit. The date is still pending, but I have some interviews lined up and I'm really hoping that I can get in a new position, in a new role before January so that I can transition after the break, because I feel like that would be the easiest thing to do. I really don't want to have to face my coworkers and my boss, but that is just a part of this whole situation. I feel a lot of guilt. I'm gonna be absolutely honest with you, because I feel like I'm on one hand I feel like I'm quitting because it's too hard, and on the other hand I feel like I'm letting my teammates down because, you know, everybody plays a role on the team, and no matter if you feel like your role is insignificant, you still are a very vital piece of any team that you're working on. So I feel that I'm kind of letting them down in that way, and that's kind of where the guilt is coming from, because my team has been very supportive and they, you know, have had my back. They've been understanding, but I just haven't been able to bring myself to tell them that I would like to quit at this moment, because I don't want all the questions before I have answers. So it's a little strange. I'm in a different place because I just feel like I can't continue to push myself to do more and more and more without anything coming back to me. Over the summer, I took a lot of time. I prepped everything I possibly could. I I made copies of things. I planned math, and so I had all my math documents and all my math slides and all those things kind of set in a particular place so that they were ready to go, to make it really easy for myself. And I worked ahead to make sure that everything was planned out. But what I found is that even when you work ahead, something can happen and you'll have to go back and make changes, which creates more work. So I stopped working ahead and I just started doing stuff in the moment. Well, when I did stuff in the moment, which meant like I wasn't working outside of contract hours, I was only doing what I could do on my plan time, then I felt like it was even more pressure because those deadlines were still pending and they were right there in my face. I also have a different group of kids this year. I feel like a pretty big load. Not that, you know, I don't fear for my safety or anything, but I just feel like emotionally I'm not able to carry out my original goals or tasks that you are supposed to, you know, try to be hitting as a teacher. I don't feel like I can do that with this group of kids because there's always something happening. I always have kids being pulled out. I always have kids who are absent, which that's normal. I can understand that. But I have some behaviors going on inside the classroom I need to handle. I have some emotions inside my classroom I need to handle. Admin is doing a lot of extra stuff this year that's disrupting the classroom, you know, like different events and things. And then outside of the interruptions, admin is also like adding more things. You know, basically the pressure is coming down for them, and then that pressure has to go to us because of, you know, when it all comes down to it, we get blamed for everything. So if our school isn't performing well, you know, admin's gonna look at the teachers and say, well, they need to be doing X, Y, Z, and if they're not doing X, Y, Z, that's why our school isn't doing as well as they should be doing. So with all that pressure, I have found myself being like really stressed. I'm overwhelmed because my school life is like so busy, so big, so overwhelming that I don't have enough time, I feel, to emotionally be available for anything else. I'm very active in my church. And if, I mean, school's a handful, church isn't so big of a handful because I volunteer for those things, but I really feel like I want to volunteer for those and I'm being forced to do these things. And it's the same thing with like at home. I want to be able to do certain things, but I can't because there's so many obligations over here as a teacher. Like it never feels that like, even though you say you're not going to work from home, it's impossible. Like you have to send the emails. You have to be like proactive and check the calendar. You gotta make sure you have all your materials prepped. Grading is the biggest thing that I'm feeling on right now. Like I haven't graded a single paper since like the 1st of November. And it's all kind of just like crashing down on me. And the hardest part about what's going on right now is I've reached out because everybody's like, why don't you just let people know that you need help? I actually have. And that's not like me because normally I like to fix the problems myself. But this year I've just been like, hey, I'm struggling in this area and I need your help. And while they've said, we got your back, I feel like there's not enough that they can do at this point to fix the problem. So, and then I just keep hearing, you're such a great teacher. I'm like, yeah, I know I am. And that's not what I'm questioning right now. I'm questioning how much I can possibly take before I crack. And I'm just trying to make sure that like taking care of myself, because this year I've been sick every other week. And you know, I've called in more than I have the whole time that I've been here this year. Like I've called in like 5 or 6 times now. And that's not like me at all. Normally I don't like to make sub plans, but this year I'm like, I don't care. I'm making the sub plans because I don't feel well. I've just decided like for me mentally and physically, I cannot sacrifice myself for this job. And one of my good friends, she was like, you can't set yourself on fire to keep other people warm. And that is really like starting to become like real to me, because I'm trying to make sure I'm doing what I'm supposed to do so that the people around me don't feel that weight, but I'm feeling that weight trying to carry it all by myself. And so I've got to do what I got to do to make sure I'm okay. So all that being said, I am planning to quit, which is so wild to me because I'm like, this whole page is about teacher life and like all those things. But I'm sure like if you really look at it, I can never really post during the school year. Like it's so busy, so hard to do all those things. And everybody says it, and I know there are people who can, but I also wonder like what environment are they in? I'm actually not even in a bad area, but I feel like the expectations on the teachers are like really high. And you know, parents are really involved, which is great, but at the same time, then that means you have more eyes on you, which creates a whole nother set of pressures. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess we'll see how this all unfolds, because I have an interview or a couple interviews scheduled. So I'm gonna go through this process and hopefully everything will work out and I'll be starting a new career at the beginning of the year. So yeah, just wanted to let you guys know that's what's happening in my life. Hopefully you guys are all enjoying the holiday season and taking care of yourself, and hopefully you guys all make it to the end of the school year. So it's really sad to see so many people leaving, but yeah. Anyways, thanks for watching and I'll see you guys in the next video.